So in this video, we're going to look at perimeter for two-dimensional shapes. I'll start off by explaining very simply what the perimeter of a shape is. Perimeter is simply the distance around a two-dimensional shape. So if you think about it, it's essentially just adding up all the sides. Now, on top of that, we will look at a separate video for circles where we talk about the circumference, and the circumference is the word that we use to describe the perimeter, the outside of a circle. But for now, we're going to look at just shapes with flat sides and cover a couple of examples. Okay, so as we said, it's the distance around a two-dimensional shape, so it is just adding up the sides. And an easy way of thinking about it, because we also will look at area, and not to confuse perimeter and area, I always like to think, well, when we look at the word perimeter, it contains the word rim, and if you think of the rim like the outside of a glass, it is the distance around the outside. Okay, so if we get stuck into some of these examples, the first one, so we've been asked to find the perimeter of this shape, which is a irregular pentagon. Okay, irregular meaning the sides of the shape are different lengths. Okay, so all I do, very simple sum, P equals 2 plus 4. Again, even though it's simple enough, I'll still always show me working out. 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 5. Again, when we're adding sides up like this, it doesn't matter the order in which we add them together. So 2 plus 4 is 6, plus 3 is 9, plus 3 is 12, plus 5 is 17. And another thing to point out for this is that it's important to always include, if the examiner hasn't already within the exam included, your units. So we're working with centimeters here, so I have to make sure that my answer is 17 centimeters. Okay, so if it was meters, the answer is going to be in meters. If it's millimeters, it's going to be millimeters. That are the units of our answer. Okay, for those of you who may be thinking, well, where do we use things like centimeters squared or centimeters cubed? Well, that's going to apply to area and volume, and again, I'll address that when we come to those topics. For the minute, when we're talking about perimeter, because it's just a length, it's the distance around something, our units are centimeters. There's no squared for any of these. Okay, now moving on to our second example, where we're dealing with finding the perimeter of a rectangle, and again, just something to point out to be careful with. You'll notice that we haven't labelled all the sides here, so we're missing the length of these two sides here. But because we should know that a rectangle has opposite sides that are the same, if this is 6 centimeters, this is also 6 centimeters over here, and that will sometimes be indicated by these dashes here. These double dashes on each of these sides indicate they're the same. Equally, these single dashes on these two sides indicate that they're both the same. So if that's 4 centimeters, this is also 4 centimeters. And then again, once we have found the missing sides, we just add everything up. Again, doesn't matter what order I add them. 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 6. 4 plus 4 plus 6 plus 6. You'll get the same answer. And that gives me 20 centimeters. Okay, and again, just including the units of my answer. Moving on, we're now dealing with a triangle, and again, just making sure that we find the missing sides. So keeping an eye out for dashes on sides like this. This dash and this dash indicate that these two sides are the same. So if this is 3 centimeters, this side is also 3 centimeters. All right, so where we have to identify the length of missing sides, keep an eye out for the likes of this, which will indicate to you that it's the same as this side over here. All right, so now again, just adding up those sides, 3 plus 3 plus 4, which is 10 centimeters. Okay, again, these are all in centimeters. However, if it was in millimeters, my answer would have to be in millimeters. If it was meters, my answer would be in meters. All right, now moving on to a compound shape, and again, I've just put a note here that we have to find the missing sides. If we look at this, we've got this side is 7, this is 4. We haven't been given any length for this side. This is 4, this is 3, and we haven't been given any length for this side along the bottom. Okay, so when you get something like this within a compound shape, these are rectangles, so it kind of indicates that these sides are all parallel. It's basically two rectangles here and here, and we can use that information to help us. So if I consider I want to maybe find this side first. Okay, so if I'm going to find this side, what I have to do is I'll have to use because this is a vertical side, I'll use the other vertical sides to help me. So if I look at this side here, the 7 centimeters, the long vertical side, and the short vertical side, which is 3. Well, if this is 3 and this is 7, well, we have to consider that these two sides together, when added, will give us the length of this, okay? So if this is 3, this has to be 4, because 3 and 4 are 7, and they would have to be the same length combined as this long side here. This can also help us using the horizontal side. So if I consider I want this long horizontal side at the bottom, well, if I want the long horizontal side and I know the two shorter ones, if this is 4 and this is 4, well then together they make a length of 8, so this along the bottom is 8 centimeters also. So when you're dealing with a compound shape like this, use the fact that the sides, so vertical sides are parallel, horizontal sides are parallel, to work out the missing sides. Now that I have everything, I can add all the sides up. So I've got 7 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4. I'm working my way around here. 7 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 3 plus 8. Okay, 7 and 4 is 11, plus 4 is 15, plus 4 is 19, plus 3 is 22, plus 8 is 30. And again, working in centimeters and remembering my units. Okay, so moving on to a couple of other variations of questions we can get around perimeter. So this type of question, we've been given the perimeter, states within this sentence, the perimeter of this shape is 12 centimeters. Find the missing side. So if we imagine perimeter is equal to 12, so 12 should equal to these three sides added up, 4 plus 4 plus 4.5. Now, I'm sorry, 4 plus 4 plus the side that I'm trying to find. You can use a wee bit of algebra here. We could call this side x, do it that way. It's simply realizing that 4 plus 4 plus the missing side, and we'll call it x for now, again, using some of the stuff that we've learned around algebra. 4 and 4.5 is 9.5, so in this case I have set up a simple equation. So again, if you think back to the videos around solving equations, it's a very simple one-step equation. I want to get x on its own, so I take away this 9.5, but I have to take away from this side as well. Well, the only thing x can be is 2.5, and that would work if you were to check your answer. 2.5 plus 4.5 plus 4 will give me 12. And just remember that this side is 2.5 centimeters. The centimeter again is important when we're dealing with something like this. All right. Lastly, again, it's where algebra can come into play here. Write an expression from the perimeter of each shape. So if you think of what an expression is, again, thinking back to the video where we started looking at algebra, an expression we can't solve, but if we're asked to find an expression for the perimeter, well, the perimeter is just the three sides in the case of the triangle added up. So if you were to imagine to write that out as an expression, 2x plus 3x plus 4x, that's the three sides added up. And also what you'll be asked to do in this type of question is to simplify. So again, that is thinking back to our video of collecting like terms. 2x plus 3x is 5x, plus 4x is 9x. So it's again where algebra is now coming into this topic of perimeter. Okay, and that's as simple as I can leave that there. We're not actually finding what x is. There may be a follow-up on a type of question like this where we're told what the perimeter is, then find x. But again, that's where algebra is a factor, and we'll look at those questions in a separate video as well. All right. Similarly here, so I've been asked to write this as an expression. So I've got x plus y as one of the sides. This is also x plus y, so that is me adding these two sides up, here and here, here and here, okay? Plus my last side at the bottom, which is 2x. There I've added the three sides up. And just to simplify, I've got x plus 2x. So in terms of my x's, collecting the like terms, I have 4x. In terms of my y's, I have plus y, which is plus 2y. Okay, so I just wanted to cover those types of questions as well, where we have a little bit of algebra involved in the topic of perimeter. Again, like anything, I'll put some questions at the end of the video for practice, and anything you're unsure about, just ask. Okay.